Yo, yo! What's up, everyone? How's it going? It is, what's today? Oh, your mic input volume's high. Hold on. I think it should be okay. Yeah, what's up, Jeremy? How are you? Did you have any bad traffic experiences today?
Haha, no, not today.
Oh, that's
I
good.
did take I-4 today. It was fine.
So it's back up
But
and
yes,
running as normal.
back up and running like normal.
See, that's still crazy that I saw so many videos that next day after we were talking about that fire. Dude, it looked so bad. Thankfully, no one got
Yeah,
hurt,
it
though.
was
That's
bad.
crazy.
I believe the driver of the truck actually passed away.
Really? Shoot.
I believe
Well,
so.
that's sad to hear.
Yeah.
But um, really, not a whole lot of news this past week. We got another Halloween Horror Nights house announcement. El Artista, a Spanish haunting. So that is an original house. Here's the description that they in the 19th century Spain, a tortured artist moves into an isolated country manor for inspiration, but the art comes alive and possesses him. Tickets are now on sale. Yada yada yada. So that's interesting. An artist
Interesting.
paintings come to life. So I can already see it now. They're gonna have paintings on the wall, and monsters are gonna be jumping out of the paintings. Watch. I'm calling that right now.
Pretty much.
I kind of reminds
It'd
me of
be
the El.
fun.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of the El Chupacabra house they had last year or the year before. That one was kind of cool. But I feel like there's just like a certain buzz right now about Halloween Horror Nights. Like I feel like everywhere I look, like on social media or the TikToks that I'm watching, I think just everyone is talking about Halloween Horror Nights right now. Like to me, it just seems like people are just ready for it, and they've really been stingy on these house announcements or scare zone announcements. So almost end of June, and we know three houses and nothing else. They need to give us a little
Yep,
something,
pretty much.
something. They need to give us a little action here. Um, that's really all the news I think that was there. Test Track's
Well,
opening. We talked about
Disney
that. What? Yeah, you go ahead.
Disney announced the show times for the new nighttime parade.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing it two times every night, 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. I don't know if that's gonna last forever, but that's pretty cool. But that means that we're probably gonna have like 9 o'clock parade. That'll end. Then you get happily ever after right into another parade. So it's gonna be absolutely insane getting out of that park.
An 11 p.m. parade.
That's what I saw. I think it's only gonna last like that for a little while. Probably stick to the 9 p.m. one after the big push during the beginning of it.
That's crazy. Something like that late at night, especially at Magic
Wild.
Kingdom. Heck to the no. I don't know if I'll ever want to be in Magic Kingdom
That
that
just
late.
shows me though that they're probably gonna keep the park open till midnight again.
And that's kind of cool. Give people more time.
I'm down for that because that second parade, that's when you hit the rides.
Oh, it's gonna be
Everyone's gonna be
intense.
standing outside. You're gonna be able to hit these rides so fast. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I wonder what the capacity would be at 11:30 p.m. On like a random
That's true.
weeknight. Like
That's true.
10% of what the daytime capacity probably was at. Yeah, those rides are going to
Probably.
be empty. That's good though. I mean, I'll be interested to see what it's like when that actually starts. Um, let's see. It was pretty hot here in Ohio. I think it was hotter today and yesterday than it was in Florida the last 2 days. It was like mid 90s here today. Just
Yeah, I think we only hit
insanely hot.
91. Nah, we didn't even hit 90 today. I believe it was only like in the high 80s today.
That's crazy.
It's not super hot.
Yeah, that's insanely hot for Ohio. I really wasn't even outside all that much today. It was just a little too much for what I was trying to do today. But and then I saw the How to Train Your Dragon live action movie last week or on Friday
Yeah,
or Saturday, whatever that was. Pretty good movie. I liked it a lot. Um, I thought they did a really good rendition of it. It was a cute movie. One of my friends though told me that there was a an end credit scene, so I waited the entire end credits for there not even to be one.
but I trolled you.
Trolled me hard. I was just
Trolled
like,
you hard.
I was the only person in the theater. I sat in there for 15 minutes watching these damn credits for literally for not even to have one. And then there was an employee from the theater in there waiting for me to leave so they could start cleaning. I was just like, I'm so sorry, dude. I just trying to see if there's an end credit scene, and then there wasn't even one. So I was just sitting in there by myself for
That's
15 minutes with this like 19-year-old dude just trying to clean the theater. He's probably like, get the hell out of here. There's no end scene coming.
that's great.
Ugh. No, the movie
That's
was really
great.
good though. I like the movie a lot. I would see it again. Some people are claiming it's like one of the best live action remakes like ever, which honestly I
I've
kind of
heard
believe it. It's good.
I've heard a lot of people have said that it's better than all of the Disney live action remakes. So I was like, all right. I
It was
think
better than Lilo and Stitch.
oh, every one of them is better than Lilo and
You
Stitch,
won't even
but
entertain that one.
I won't even watch it when it's free on Disney Plus.
Yeah, people didn't really like that one either, but that's that's old news. Let's see. I was thinking maybe we could talk about some of our theme park pet peeves.
Oh,
I'm
that's a good one.
sure we both have a crap ton of them. I'll go first. I'll do one
All
first.
right.
People that don't know how to walk in the parks. So either you're walking 10 people wide, or you're a person that can't walk straight and you're just constantly like over here, and then you're going over this way. You can't walk straight and people are trying to pass you and you have no idea what's going on around you. So you're just walking, people behind you are bumping into you, or you're a slow walker that like will exit an attraction and then you're just standing in the doorway outside of the attraction while all these people behind you are trying to leave. Just like people that do that piss me off. Like you have no social awareness for what's going on around you. Believe it or not, you're not the only person in the theme park that day. The people that don't know how to walk in the parks like that tick me off. That's my first one.
Yeah. My first one is going to be all the people who have family members up in the front of the line.
Mm,
Come on, guys. Like, this is a crowded park. You should know better. You should enter in as a group, go through the ride as a group. Having people that are like, oh, go get in line. I'll call you when I get over there. No.
mm.
The amount of people, and half of them, I swear, are just doing it to get in front of the line. They don't have family in there. I know there's people that lie about that. I've seen it before. People are, oh, sorry, I got to get through. My family's up there. My family's up there. Family's up there. And you're like, okay. And then you literally see them too. It's like always a mom with one kid, and they're going through that whole thing. And then they get on the ride. They didn't even meet up with anybody. They just get on the ride. And I'm like,
Dude,
come
that
on.
that irks me. Your mom is not up there, dude.
Yeah.
You're
That and the people who like, I get it. Disney started doing that thing with the when they got rid of the dash for certain things, where if you had like IBS or you had to get out of the line to go to the restroom for any reason, they were like, oh, you can re-enter the line. That I'm okay with if a cast member is willing to help you get back in line. But like if you're in line and you really got to go that bad, and it's not really like a medical reason, you lost your spot. You're not getting back in line. I'm sorry. I'm not moving. I've been in line for an hour. I'm holding it too. I'm waiting to get off on a mansion. And, come on. Like, those
no,
people bother me so much.
I get it.
So much.
I totally get it. I really wish theme parks would crack down on that. That you have to enter the queue with your full party. And if you don't, sorry, they're not going to be able to come up and join you. That is very frustrating.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure a majority of people would agree with that. That's one of the most annoying things at a theme park. Um, let's see. My number two, electric vehicles. Don't like them.
Absolutely.
I've never liked them. I have a one-sided imaginary beef with electric vehicles. I understand if you need them for medical purposes or if you're just, if you can't walk all day, I get it. But I hate electric vehicles with a burning passion. People don't know how to drive them. They don't look where they're going. They swerve in and out of people walking. I've had my ankles clipped a few times, and then somehow I'm the one always at fault when I have a bad interaction with electric vehicles. So I don't like them. I get why they have them and why they need them. Funny story, I think it was Halloween Horror Nights last year. There was like a big group of people standing outside this house, and like I could see an electric scooter coming like on my left side, and like I was coming in from the right side, and I don't know what this lady was doing. If she was like trying to cut straight across, I somehow ended up like getting right in front of her, and she like made a comment at me. I go, lady, I have no idea what you're trying to do. You're about to ram through the half of the people standing outside. Like you're not looking where you're going. So my pet peeves are the people that are bad drivers on the electric vehicles. That's my number two.
All right, this one is a good one, especially for Orlando. People who don't know how to put the proper amount of deodorant on or bring deodorant with them into the parks. I do not want to be stuck in an hour-long line with you reeking like you just came out of an onion plant. Like, bro, like it's Florida. It's 90 something degrees out and 1000% humidity. If you didn't put deodorant on, you should not be at the parks. Like, for real. That is so bad. Especially with how crammed some of these queues are. The last time I was in line for Hagrid's and I was in that tunnel, there was some dude, three people up from us. Everyone was like, everyone around us, all of us looking around, and I'm like, what is that? This guy
Onion.
finally stands up because we were sitting down. As soon as he stood up, it just, my eyes were watering, man. Like, it was so bad. So if you come here and you're not wearing deodorant and you don't bring deodorant with you into the park, don't get in line. I, especially if I'm there, I'll call you out on it.
Dude, I swear it's always the smelliest people that like you're next in line to, and they like you're like within like an inch of them as you're passing. It's like, dude, please just
No, the worst,
go,
the worst.
go.
Here was the worst one. I was in line. Okay, so Chandler knows this. Anybody who is a streamer knows this. You end up doing a lot of single rider rides when you stream,
Hmm.
if you're going to be streaming the rides, because we don't want to wait in line so long when we have people watching, but also you're by yourself. The amount of times that I would get stuck with somebody who smelled bad in that single rider line, and you always knew it was like the whole group knew that they were the one that smelled bad, and they were like, okay, all pairing off with each other. Then I get up to Rock and Roller Coaster and had to sit with this guy. Worst experience I've ever had. It was so bad. And he didn't look like it was going to be that kind of guy either. You know, like normally you can
Yeah,
tell.
I
This
gotta.
guy did not look like that. And I was like, I got off the ride. I was like, the cast member literally looked at me and I looked so annoyed and just disgusted. They're like, you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm okay, but my nose isn't. And I just left.
Just need some air. I just need some air.
Yeah.
Um, I had a funny story. One time I was on a plane flying somewhere, and it was like me and my dad, and then this guy, like kind of like I don't know, it wasn't really like last minute, but boarded after us, sat down in the seat directly in front of my dad on the aisle, and I immediately we were both just like, "Was this dude smell so freaking bad?" And this is
Oh,
gonna be like an 8 hour flight,
mm,
and we were just sitting there, we're like, "I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this for 8 hours."
oh,
But somehow he ended up in the wrong seat. So he actually ended up getting up and then moving to the back of the plane. So we got super lucky.
you
But
got
as
lucky.
soon as this dude sat down in his seat, we just immediately, like, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for 8 hours. I'm not gonna be able to sit here and smell this guy for the
Oh,
next 8 hours. I'll lose it. I'll get on the no-fly list real quick. I don't know what I would have done.
Burger
Um,
King hat was gonna come out.
Oh God, literally. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great example of how the crash out would have went. All right, back to the topic. Number three, people that run to attractions at rope drop. I understand why you want to run. I I sometimes have the urge to maybe run sometimes, but I don't do it because I think you look like a fool, low key. No disrespect. We don't need to be running. We don't need to be running. First of all, if you get hurt, you're gonna blame the theme park for getting hurt. Second of all, if you slip and fall, that's gonna be insanely embarrassing, and I will publicly out loud laugh at you if I see you fall. I have no chill. If I see someone fall, I'm laughing. Third, it's just a ride. You're gonna get on it either way. Why are you running if you have 20 more people in front of you? Like running does not get you that far ahead unless you're like sprinting, which sometimes you do see that family from the Midwest. The dad's got his daughter's arm and he's yanking her shoulder, trying to run to Hagrid's. whatever reason, I don't know. Something about when people run to the theme parks, like, can we all just take a chill pill? We're all trying to go and ride the same ride. We don't need to be running. You always see that at Islands of Adventure, and people are riding Hagrid's. It's like, just chill out. Just chill out. It's
Yeah.
not that serious,
Yep.
my guy.
I've seen it happen a bunch of times in Magic Kingdom, and it's always the people that run. And if you've ever rope drop Magic Kingdom, especially for early entry, because I've done that a couple times, if you're rope dropping into like Fantasyland, everyone sprints to Snow White Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I don't get it. But the funny thing is when one person in the group just books it and starts sprinting and they get there first, but they end up having to wait for the rest of the group to show up. It's like, what was the point?
What's the point? What
What
was
was
the
the
point of
point?
that? Yeah. Here, yeah, that's
Let's
my
see.
PSA. Just walk.
Trying to think of another one. Oh, I had it. Now I lost it. What was it? What was it? Oh, everybody who sings and talks the entire time during the fireworks. I recently, a few weeks ago, went to Happily Ever After. There was a group of people there that were there for a trip. They had never seen the show. I get the excitement, but they were so loud and yelling the entire time. Everyone in the area was looking at them like, can you just be quiet? But those aren't even the worst ones. It's the uber Disney adults that have to sing every single line of it during it and then cry during it, even though they've seen the show 70,000 times. And then the content creators are the ones who get the always talking during the shows.
Mm-hmm.
I, I have stood behind countless amounts of streamers and never have I heard them singing the words or talking during the fireworks. 90% of them will put it up on a tripod or on their gimbal and just watch the show from
Mm-hmm.
right behind. And that's how I used to do it. With seeing these people that just sing the whole time at the top of their lungs. I understand you guys are in your feels in that moment, but there are so many people there that have never seen it before. You need to just zip it away and just let them enjoy it, or go over to the bridge over in Adventureland and go watch it over there so you can sing and dance without taking up the view of somebody else.
Yeah, what do they call that? It's like first or main character syndrome. Like people always try to make
Yeah.
like the events and stuff
Yes.
about themselves. It's like, dude, it goes back to like that social awareness thing. There's just people all over. No one wants to hear you sing this song. Like, if we wanted to hear you sing, we'd ask you to sing, but no. Yeah, I kind of agree with
Disney
that
would
one.
have hired you to sing it.
Exactly. I'm gonna piggyback because you mentioned Happily Ever After. When people put their kids on their shoulders during the fireworks, dude, that pisses me off to the max. Just it's every time I go and watch it, it's like 2 minutes before it starts, you see the kid go up. And it's like, dude, I had a perfect view. I could see just over this person, and then the view is just totally gone. I'm surprised they didn't actually like Disney doesn't. I don't. It's not like I don't know. Just to be more. What's the word I'm like thinking of? Just so you're not taking people left
Courteous.
behind you. Courteous. There we go. So everyone's being courteous and everyone has a view because you have some short people. I mean, kids too, especially that aren't going to get up there. It's like, how are they supposed to see behind the adults, let alone you add an extra 3 feet on top of them? I can't even see half the time anyway. So yeah, that irritates me when I see people get up on parents' shoulders. There's people behind you trying to see. It's like everyone wants to watch the fireworks. Everyone wants to see the castle. Like you're not special. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, whatever. Um, that's annoying. That is a big one of mine. I would say for another one, hmm, people that try to blame team members and cast members for their poor planning or their something that they can't control. You always hear
Absolutely.
that you're ruining my vacation. It's like, no, this DCP employee getting you into the attraction did not ruin your vacation because you didn't know how to buy the multi-pass in the morning. So I guess just
Absolutely.
disrespecting cast members in general is like a pet peeve of mine. It's like they're making like 1850. They're probably in the DCP. Is like they don't get paid enough to hear you talk, Karen. Like chill out on them. They're not the one making any of these rules. They're not ruining your vacation. Chill out. It's a 20-year-old college kid from Arkansas just trying to do a summer internship at Disney. They're not ruining your vacation.
100%. Not at all. Oh, let's see. Um, Trying to think of some other ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've covered some good ones.
going along, going along with the walking thing. The people in their strollers that don't have the social or the spatial awareness when they're pushing those things, or they start pushing it and they're looking off to the side, like walking down Main Street, and they're looking at all the buildings and pushing their stroller, not paying attention to what's in front of them.
Mm,
I got like 2 years ago, I got clipped in the back of the right above my Achilles. I got clipped by a stroller. Didn't think anything of it. I was like, dang, that kind of hurt. And I just kept going on. I was streaming that day. Well, I took a break in the afternoon and then literally looked down and there was blood, like
Jeez Louise.
blood going down my leg. And I had like a bunch of it on my sock. And I had a massive, like, this thing, it wasn't deep enough that I would have needed like stitches or anything, but she took a big chunk of skin out of the back of my leg. And it was there for like 2 months before it fully healed. And it would hurt pretty dang bad, but not having that spatial awareness when you're pushing either a stroller or again with the ECVs and you just are blaming other people because you're not paying attention, that drives me in freaking insane.
Dude, yeah. No, that does drive me up the wall. We need to start requiring like driver's tests when people want to rent out these electric vehicles.
The
You
electric
need,
vehicles, I feel like you either need to have like some sort of proof that you need to rent one because there are people that will just go up there and rent it because they just don't want to walk. And like I get it. I don't want to walk in the heat either, but I'm going to. But the amount of times that I've had like my mother-in-law, it literally cannot walk long distances. She has a like physical disability in not being able to walk. And like she'll walk short distances if we bring like a cane or a walker with her. She'll walk some short distances without anything. But like if we go to Disney when she's wanted to go the few times, the amount of times, like 2 times I went at Epcot, they were sold out of ECDs.
jeez Louise.
2 times. So I had to push her in a push wheelchair and wait for them to call me when somebody returned an ECV and they got it fully charged. I'm like, are you joking me right now? How do you run out of
Man,
ECVs? That to me just showed how many people don't want to walk. Plus, a lot of people used to know the trick. If you had an ECV in your group, you got to go to the exit of the ride and you got get on the ride a little bit quicker. They don't really do that
mm,
anymore. That used to be a thing. Like Big Thunder Mountain did that. Um, some of the rides where the queue is not really wheelchair or ECV friendly, they would take you to the end exit and you would just basically get onto the ride, right?
mm.
Well, I knew people who would walk through the parks, but there would be certain days where they would use an ECV just so they could do that. And I'm like, come on. Like,
How much do one of those even cost to rent? I seriously couldn't tell you if you asked me.
they're expensive. I think they're like,
Let me see if I can Google it real
man,
quick.
I want to say it's like $90. But you get money back. Like you get like when you return it, they credit you back on your payment. Like you have to pay with a card. They credit you back. I want to say they credit you back like $40, so you end up paying like $50.
Oh, so they make you put a deposit down, like a security deposit.
Yeah.
Here we go. WaltDisneyWorld.com. Daily is $65. A refundable $20 deposit is required at this location.
Okay. That's what it
And
was.
then if you're going to the
It's
water
more,
parks or Disney Springs, it's $65 for the day, and then a $100
yeah,
deposit.
yes.
Not terrible.
So, but it's more expensive at SeaWorld.
SeaWorld's is expensive?
SeaWorld's more expensive. We paid a lot at SeaWorld for that.
See if I can find theirs.
I think theirs was like 120. I think you didn't get any, like you got like $10 back or something like that as your deposit.
I think if this is the correct one, SeaWorld Orlando scooter. It's not their official website, but they probably use a third party. $140 for one day.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. 140.
Okay, well now we gotta
Yeah,
look at Universal.
crazy.
All
I've
right.
never used them at Universal.
Okay, let's see who's got the highest one. Um, I think it's saying $75. Where'd that just go?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, all about the same. 75 Universal, Disney 65. SeaWorld, holy
Then
smoke,
120.
why is it that much? I wonder why it's so
No,
much there.
a lot of stuff's more expensive at SeaWorld.
Their food is ridiculously expensive.
If you go to
SeaWorld,
SeaWorld, talking about that, if you're going to SeaWorld, buy the dining package for the day.
yeah,
So
you'll
much
save
more worth it.
so much money.
You
Um,
will save a ton and you get to eat every hour and a half.
yeah, that's what they did at Cedar Point too. It was like 35 bucks. You can eat every 90 minutes. End up getting like 3 or 4 meals, which would have costed me like close to 80 bucks combined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but D Disney,
Well,
they have their quick service and they have a dining pass, right?
yeah, they brought back the dining
Yeah,
plan.
plan.
I don't know much about it. I don't really use any of that stuff. But
Universal does not have one anymore. They used to have one when I was a kid. They got rid of it some years ago, and they don't have anything now in place.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I do enjoy Universal's freestyle cups though. I think that's a
Oh yeah,
definitely it was definitely a good investment.
definitely. If you're gonna be there, like it's like what, 18 bucks to get the cup, and then you can free refills every, I think it's like 10 minutes or
And
something
then
like
it's
that.
cheaper per cup if you buy multiple cups.
Yeah,
Like
it
if
is.
you have your family with you,
I'm gonna look at the cost.
cheaper if you buy like three, cheaper if you buy four,
Yeah, the more
bring it up to
you,
five. The
yeah,
more you buy, the more you save. Then after the initial day that you buy them, you have the freestyle all day. And then when you come back, it's like $10 a day, I want to say.
okay. This says one cup costs you 18.99 plus tax. Two cups cost you 16.99, and then 3 to 6 cups is 14, and then you can recharge it for the next day for 11.99. That's a dang good deal when one bottle of soda costs like $6, $6.
I
Definitely
think it's
take that.
cheaper. I think it's cheaper if you're a pass holder too for
Oh
the
yeah, you get your password
the
discounts.
recharge.
What?
Pass holder, I think it's $10 a day to recharge.
That's not bad at all.
No,
That's
not
really
at all.
not bad at
Because
all.
I mean, think about theme park math here. If I were to go to
There we go.
Disney and buy a Diet Coke, that's like $5 for one. If I pay $10 for the day and I'm able to refill it, I think with those cups it's like every 10
I
minutes.
think so, yeah.
Yeah. And then if you refill it with water, that's just as much as you can without waiting any time. So honestly, like thinking about that, and if you buy a water bottle, I bought a water bottle in Animal Kingdom the other day. A Dasani water bottle was $4. Like, think about that. If I would have bought a Diet Coke and a water bottle, that's $9 for two drinks. But if I bought $10 of that cup and refilled it three times, I'm already saving a ton of money.
Oh
So
yeah.
there you go.
Dude.
Gotta have the theme park math.
Yeah, I mean any type of money saving tip, like do it because it will save you a nice little chunk of change in the long run. These theme parks are not
Absolutely.
cheap by any means. Um, let's see here. I don't know, not much going on this past week in the news, but we could talk about some of the best queues in any real theme park. I can go first. I'll just start
I
with
want you to name I want you to name your favorite queue from each park. Disney,
there we go.
Universal.
Okay.
Disney and Universal. SeaWorld's queues aren't really
Now they're
designed
just
to be like cool queues. It's just a place to wait in line. They didn't spend the money on the queues.
so I'm gonna start with Islands of Adventure. And I think I'm gonna say Forbidden Journey, where you walk through Hogwarts. I think that's I think that queue like set the standard for all future theme park queues. When you go to that for the first time, it's actually insane. They have the
Yes.
Hogwarts or the Gryffindor common room. Um, you see the fat lady painting. You go through Dumbledore's office. You see the Sorting Hat. You see all the paintings and pictures that talk. That queue is just insane. You go through one of the greenhouses. So yeah, I think in Islands of Adventure, it's definitely Forbidden Journey. I would give a honorable mention. I think probably to Spider-Man and Velocicoaster. Those would be my two and three. Those are really good cues too. I like the Velociraptors and Velocicoaster. So cool
Oh yeah,
animatronics.
very cool spot. Do you want to just go back and forth
Yeah,
with each park, or do you want to
let's
do
do
all
it.
of them? Okay. If I'm doing islands, I'm gonna have to say Forbidden Journey is number one as well. Just you get wrapped up in the world. It feels like you're actually there. Uh, Definitely is something that Universal kind of exceeded expectations at was their queues.
Hmm.
They have done a lot better with their queues than I remember even growing up and going to the other Universal. But if I was going to give honorable mentions to any of them, I would also go with Velocicoaster, but not Spider-Man. I would go with Kong. Kong's got a
Mm.
pretty good. It's got a
Oh
pretty
yeah.
immersive queue as well. You see like the shaman lady or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you're going through and you get to see like the exhibits from the adventures of the people. You know, you get to see some of like the bugs and the big
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
glass things, and it's a pretty cool queue. But if I was gonna go with like the best queue to just cool off in, Cat in the Hat.
Oh, by far. By far.
It's like 30 degrees in there.
Dude. It's it's the best air conditioned queue like in any theme park. Yeah,
Absolutely.
if you want to break from the sun and you want to cool down, go in the Cat in the Hat and Islands of Adventure. That is the best
Absolutely.
air conditioning ever. Okay, moving over to studios, I think you have to give it to Green Gots. I mean, you see the big giant lobby with the chandelier. You have all the goblins and the tellers and just the detail, and then you go down into the caves and you see um, like all those offices in that hallway, and then you go in the elevator. I think that's one of the best queues in all of Orlando, honestly. That's such a fun queue to walk in and to see. Yeah, that main lobby as soon as you enter is breathtaking, honestly. It's so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would have to go with Green Gots as well. When Harry Potter stuff came out, they really went all out on those. I mean, it, I've only been on Green Gots a couple times, and one time I literally just went through the line just to hang out in the queue, and I didn't even ride the ride. I just wanted to walk through the queue. Um, but if I was gonna, I have a couple honorable mentions at studios. I personally like the queue for ET.
I was gonna say
I
that.
think that might be one of my favorites. It smells
The
amazing in
smell,
there.
dude.
The smell is fantastic. You feel like you're in the movie. It's really cool. And if you haven't gone in that, you need to. Um, but also, I kind of like the Transformers queue.
That's a good
I don't
cue.
know why, but I like it. It's kind of it's not like the most exciting queue in the world, but I've always enjoyed that one.
I'll give an honorable mention to Mummy as well. Mummy's got a really good queue.
Pretty good
It's
one.
dark. You get to see all the artifacts, and I like the storyline of the ride, as like the movie set is like cursed, and you got to find the
Plus
mother. So
the video before the ride with the with Brendan Fraser. It's always good to watch.
dude, it's so funny. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause he's trying to get his cup of coffee the entire time, that he's
The
doing
whole
his
time.
interview, and then he finally gets it at the end. So that's kind of that's why they have that scene there, because he's doing this like promo on the set, and he keeps asking for this intern or whatever to get the cup of coffee, but he's getting like haunted by the mummy, and then he finally gets it at the end, but it's not the intern anymore. Yeah, if yeah, hey, look into
Uh,
that Q, um, like and just watch the videos and stuff. It's actually a pretty good storyline. I like it a lot. I read a book from a cast
oh,
member that was there on opening day, and he talked about
yeah.
his time working for Mummy, and it was pretty good read. If I can find it, I'll try to put it in the description. But that was a pretty good book.
The Jimmy Fallon queue is not bad.
It's
I
not
don't
bad.
like Jimmy Fallon. The ride's not my favorite, and I'm not a big Jimmy Fallon fan. But the queue is pretty cool because you feel like you're on set for you're getting ready to go on the show, and you get to see all the old like they have like the pictures of all the old
Hmm.
hosts of the show on there. I always like that one, and they sometimes have the panda walking around in the
Yeah,
queue.
yeah, yeah. Hashtag the panda.
So that one's a that was a good one.
Yeah. All right. Let's skip SeaWorld because there's nothing interesting there.
Yeah, SeaWorld's
All right. Let's start with Magic Kingdom. Trying to rack my. You go first on Magic Kingdom. I gotta rack my brain around all the rides.
yeah. I'm thinking about which ones. It's not Big Thunder. Big Thunder is one of my least favorite queues in all of Magic Kingdom. It is so hot in that freaking queue. Um,
Uh, I'd probably say Haunted Mansion. Once you get inside, though, at least for me, then you have the kind of the pre-show and it's like dark in there. And I think I'd probably.
yeah,
Hold on, I'm
there's a
thinking.
lot of hidden stuff in that pre. There's a lot of hidden stuff in that queue as well. Like I got to do a behind the scenes tour of
Mm,
Haunted Mansion when I was a cast member, and we got to go in before the park opened, and we got to go through the tunnels under there. We got to go to the back way to get to Haunted Mansion from the where the employees or the cast members go in. I got to learn so much about cast members that worked there for like 20 plus years at Haunted Mansion. That queue is so full of hidden stuff that you would never know unless you actually took the time to look and research into all of it. It's so cool. I'll have to do another video on it sometime. When I started making videos, I started making videos about it, but when I rewatched them, they were really cringy and really bad. And so I was like, yeah, I got to redo that someday. So maybe one day I'll redo those. But yeah, Haunted Mansion's a good queue. It's a good queue. Not my favorite, but it's a good queue.
the Little Mermaid queue is kind of cool. That's kind of interactive.
Yeah, depends on how long the line is, though.
Yeah, it's not.
That one is very, very long.
Yeah, like the thing about a lot of the queues though is that they're just very immersive. They're very detailed. There's just a lot to look at to try to keep you occupied while you're waiting in line. They're not like a Six Flags or a Cedar Point where it's just all like metal switchbacks and you're just cooking
So
in the
the
sun.
difference, I feel like the difference between the Universal queues and the Disney queues is so many of the Universal ones are indoors,
Hmm.
and a lot of the Disney ones are outdoors, or they're mixed. They're like half indoor,
Yeah,
half outdoor.
right.
So like you have some that are really immersive, like Snow White, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, very immersive, has a lot of stuff for kids to look at, but you're outside for a majority of it. But once you get inside, it's like the AC just slaps you in the face, which is great. But I don't want to wait in that long queue outside.
Yeah, if you're
Tron's, mm, eh,
that freaking
Tron's queue
lady,
sucks.
who are you? Hearing that a gazillion times over and
Oh
that
my
one, oh, it
god.
drives me, it drove me nuts when
Oh,
I,
it drives
oh,
me
so annoying.
insane.
Who are you?
Honestly, if I had to pick a queue in Magic Kingdom that was my personal favorite, oh, I think it's got to be either Space Mountain, which is just like a classic old
Hmm.
school queue, and you get to see them as they're embarking onto the ride and they're
Hmm.
going around the corner. You get to watch that. I like that because it's so old school, and you're inside for the majority of that queue, like 90% of it, unless the line's really far outside. That one and Pirates. I like Pirates
Oh,
queue as well. Pirates
yeah.
has a good.
Forgot about pirates. That is a really good cue. I love the smell when as soon as you enter that from the water. Oh, that gives me freaking nostalgia.
The Pirates queue at Disneyland is way better than the one in Disney World. I will definitely say that their ride is much better than the one in Disney World. But out of ours, it's probably one of my top two.
I liked Splash Mountain's queue. I haven't ridden Tiana's yet, but when I did Splash Mountain, they have a nice queue.
Splash Mountain, my favorite
And
queue of all
yeah,
time. That
dang,
one.
RIP.
Tiana's isn't bad. I will give Tiana's an honorable mention. Tiana's queue, I like better than the ride itself.
I
Like it's
haven't ridden it yet.
weird, but the queue. I mean, even outside, you have the music.
Hmm.
They have the colored wall. But then when you walk inside, they have like newspaper articles. You feel like you're in that world. And then there's like a part of the queue where you walk around the corner and there's a kitchen with beignets on the table. And I swear to you, they pumped the smell in there.
Oh, I'm
And it
sure.
smelled like fresh beignets the first time I went on it. And it was great. Plus the AC, once you get into the tunnel part, like that's the part I always remember from Splash. Once you get into the rock tunnel and you had like all the animals' pictures like on the walls, that AC down there literally will knock your socks off. It is that
Hmm.
good. And there's certain spots you stand in the vents right there, and I would just stand there and just like dry my whole body off in that.
Let's get the AC down there.
Yeah,
Run a little bit.
exactly.
Okay, so there you have it. There's Magic. Let's go over to Studios. I would probably say I want to give it to Rise of the Resistance. I feel like you have to. I'm taking into consideration pre-shows with my cues.
Mhm. That makes sense.
So I think, especially when you get on that transport ship and then you land on the Star Destroyer and that opens up and you just see all the stormtroopers and like the space in the background, that's pretty sweet to me. And that part where you're in that transport ship is actually pretty. It's like a ride in itself almost.
It really is.
It's fun. That's a good cue. And then I think I'd give my honorable mention in studios to Tower of Terror based on immersiveness. Once you get inside, of course, and you see all the dust and the
Yes.
cobwebs and the theming in that queue is one of the best. I was actually I was on Google or something yesterday, like Google Maps, and I was like looking over Disney and stuff and all the parks there, and I like clicked on Tower of Terror because I had like its own Google page, and people were leaving like fake Google reviews on Tower of Terror saying they really need to work on the upkeep, or the elevator broke down on me and I got stuck on the elevator, and they really should clean and update the lobby. Like people were playing into it and leaving bad reviews on Tower of Terror's Google page. I thought that was funny. It made me laugh.
That makes sense. My personal favorite at Hollywood is Tower of Terror.
Mm,
Again, I was streaming one day and there was not many people in line and they had extra cast members working.
mm.
One of the cast members was carrying a suitcase and I was like, "Oh, you can take my bag up to my room for me." And he was like, "Hey, you want to come see the lobby?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like I thought he was just trying to be funny. And he was like, "Do you want to get out of line and come walk in the actual lobby?" And I was like, sure. So again, I got to do a behind the scenes type of thing of the queue of Hollywood Studio or Tower of Terror. Amazing. I learned how expensive that queue was. The
Mm.
guy spent so much money. They gave him a blank check to make this queue. Like this was back in not Bob Iger, it was the other Bob. Can't remember the name right
Eisner?
now, but he
Michael Eisner?
basically Eisner. It was maybe it was Eisner. Um, Yeah, it was Eisner. Eisner, not Mike or Bob. It was Michael
Mike
Eisner.
Eisner.
So he gave him a check, and he said, "Make it the best queue you can." There was a period of time where Tower of Terror was the most expensive queue in the United States for any theme park. So a lot of the pieces in there are literally pieces from the timeline in which the Hollywood Tower Hotel was supposed to be based in.
Mm.
They scoured the world to find these pieces. So there are so many pieces in there that are actually from that time, that period of time, and not cheap pieces either. But there's so many little things that you would miss in that queue. There's a paper that's open on one of the couches that has some information on it. And then there's also a wine glass that has a lipstick stain from the woman in the pre-show, where she was actually supposed to be sitting in there and all that. So I don't remember what it is. Is it like a Michelin star or like a
Hotels are
some kind
Michelin
of
star rated.
star?
Right.
Yes. So Hollywood Tower Hotel is actually has a Michelin star. The Hollywood Tower Hotel in Disney World has one. And so that's why you'll see Google reviews and stuff like that
Hmm.
because it's actually classified as an actual operating hotel because they got that Michelin star, yet they can't have any guests. So that is pretty cool. But that's my favorite queue at Hollywood Studios. Honorable mention for me would be Rock and Roller Coaster. It's another fun one.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah. How cool would it have been if they had put a room in Tower of Terror like they do in Cinderella's castle? Wouldn't that have been absolutely insane?
So that would have been absolutely epic. I mean, I feel like they could probably put a couple of them in there and they could charge top dollar and people would
Whatever they
willingly
wanted.
pay for it. I mean,
Whatever they
could you
wanted.
imagine if you were up there and you had the view of Fantasmic from your room?
Oh my, dude, that'd be insane. People would pay
Could
it.
you
People would
imagine
pay
that?
any dollar amount.
That would be so freaking intense. Just like you obviously could not go into your room until the park was
Yeah,
closed unless
it'd
they
be
had the rooms
loud.
completely soundproofed. But could you imagine like you're just in your room and you look out the window and you get to watch Fantasmic from up above? Like that would be so flippin'
That
cool.
would be insane. Um, is that the same Imagineer that designed that one that did Everest? The guy with the
Not Everest.
earring.
He did
Kind of a
Navi
goofy
River
guy.
Journey.
Ah, okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah, Tower of Terror. Yeah, insane. Okay. Let's go to Epcot. Oh God, let me think. I'm gonna do Living with the Land. No, just kidding. I'm gonna do probably Remy's. If I can,
Good one.
like, walking through the streets of Paris, and then you shrink down, and you're like on all the rooftops, and you get to see the Gusteau's big restaurant sign, and it's like you're on the rooftops of Paris. I think that's a really good queue. And it's inside. I really liked Test Track's original queue back before they got that rebranding in like 15, where you had all the test dummies and all the interactive motor parts and all
Yeah.
that stuff. That was a sweet queue to look at. That one was really immersive. Just tons and tons and tons of stuff to look at. Um, yeah, I like Remy's a lot. Remy's and Epcot is probably my number one for sure.
Remy's is a really good one.
It is.
But again, with that one, you're outside for a lot of it
You are.
until
Yeah,
you
that's a good
get,
point.
which sucks. Um, I was gonna say at first I was like, oh, Guardians easily, just because that's my favorite ride. But honestly, I'm not a big fan of the queue in there. I just feel like the queue takes so long to get through,
What does for sure.
unless you have Lightning Lane. It's just such a long wait, and they don't show enough of the entertaining stuff on the screen for me to be like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Um, I'm trying to think of some of the other queues that we have, because like Spaceship Earth doesn't really have much
Hmm.
of a queue. Nemo is a lot of walking in like a zigzag, which is not my favorite. Soren is not great. Living on the Land is not great. Figment's okay. Not the best, but it's okay. It's kind of cool.
Fine.
Um, hmm.
That one doesn't really stick out to me as much.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Frozen.
Okay.
Frozen's a
In
good queue.
the little town,
You
right?
immediately go straight into their little village. You get to walk through. What's the dude's name who has like the store and he's in the sauna and he'll like wipe off the window.
Yeah.
Like yoo-hoo! That
Yoo-hoo!
part always gets me.
Yoo-hoo!
I like that queue. That one probably my favorite queue. I would have to give the honorable mention to Ratatouille. I do like Ratatouille. I just don't like how I always have to start outside. Just
That's true.
blistering heat and then boom, you're inside. You do sometimes start outside with Frozen, but it's usually pretty short outside.
I am not a big fan of the location of Remy's, how it's like behind the building. You got to like go out of your way to get to it. I'm not a big fan of the location of that ride. It's
The
kind of
first time I went to Disney World, that wasn't even open. That was still under construction.
really.
Yes, because I went in 2021, and then they opened it like 9 months or 6 months after I left. Because it opened, I
Hmm.
believe, in summer of 21, and I was there in the winter of 21. So, yeah, interesting.
just like tucked
It's
behind
it's
the
it's a weird
building.
spot.
That little like pathway is like 2 people wide. It's just hard to get through. I'm not a big fan of the location of that one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, living with the land probably has one of the worst queues in Epcot. Just switchbacks.
So
You
boring.
have to like go around that little like wall.
Just go around a wall and
Yeah,
then you're on the ride.
yeah. That's a rough queue. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think of all the rides in Epcot. Yeah, I'd give mine to Ratatouille.
Mission Space has a decent queue. I just hate that ride.
I've been on that like once in my life, and I haven't been on it again.
The queue's not bad. I mean, you walk in, there's some cool space stuff, and you look like you're in like a space station kind of thing, and then you go through the intro, but that ride is awful. I don't care if you're green or orange. I hate that
Yeah, you
ride.
have a horror story on that ride too. You're trying to hit the exit button, and they wouldn't let you off or whatever. They wouldn't stop it.
No, I was the only person in there. They had just closed the door, and I started banging on the door, and the guy, I'm because I was feeling really claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I was feeling kind of claustrophobic and sick, and I'm hitting the door. I'm like, "Can I get out?" And the guy's like, "It's fine. It's only 3 minutes." And they started the ride, and I was like, "Oh gosh, that was the longest 3 minutes of my life."
Dude, just hold your breath and close your eyes and hope for the best.
Yeah,
That's like when
it
I get
was
on
awful.
Forbidden Journey anymore these days. I just get so insanely nauseous, especially on the screen parts. Doesn't matter if I close my eyes or what, but I mean, I don't know if I can ever do that right again. It seriously makes me
I
sick
get
to my stomach
claustrophobic.
on
I get
Forbidden Journey.
claustrophobic in that one on
Oh
Forbidden
yeah, it's like
Journey. Like the house narrow, like I got wide shoulders, man.
you
So I'm
do,
sitting
yeah.
in there, and I'm like, okay, this is not like my arms are against both sides, and I'm just sitting there like, what the heck is going on? Like the last time I went on it, I was freaking out internally, and I was like trying to calm myself down. I closed my eyes for the whole ride, and was trying to focus on breathing because I was literally feeling like I'm stuck in here. I'm never getting. I was like, this ride breaks down. I am gonna throw the biggest Karen fit when I get out of here.
Well, that's the same ride vehicle for Monsters Unchained, so it's literally exactly the same style. Like copy and pasted it. That one's a tight squeeze as well.
It just depends because if I usually will kind of leave some extra space when I pull the thing down, and then I'm fine. But the last time I had it and it was like this far off, and I had probably like 2 or 3 more inches for it to go down, and the team member comes up and just goes right up, and I'm like, "Ugh," and it was just the feeling of when that thing pushes back. Now my shoulders are completely stuck like this. That's what got me. If I have some space to move forward a little bit, I'm fine. But when it's stuck like that, oh my gosh, it was unbearable.
Yeah, when you're stuck, you are stuck on that ride. There is
Yes.
no wiggle room at all. Just the way that the
Just
ride
thinking
vehicle
about
is
it.
designed. Ugh.
It's making me sweat thinking about it right
Let's
now.
move on. All right. Best queues in Animal Kingdom. The first one that comes to mind, of course, is Flight of Passage. One of the most immersive queues, and the detail in there is insane. I love going in there and looking at the giant avatar in the tank. You get a really nice up close view of that. And then if you watch um, closely, like in that lab station, you see that like the what's it called, like vibranium or whatever, like floating on that little display on the desk from the movie. Um,
Hmm.
Everyone always complains about the pre-show. And that one, what's that one line he says that everyone like hates?
And fly. Or when he's like, and I'll see you guys in there. And I'm like, dude, why are you pausing?
And yeah, no, I like that queue though, and you even get to go through some of the Pandora Forest. So that's really a cool queue. I'll always be a fan of Everest's queue. Always
Everest has a
been,
good queue.
always been a fan favorite of mine. Just something about it, it makes me think of my childhood. And yeah, my family has a
Absolutely.
lot of inside jokes about that queue, and you get to see bear poop when you're in queue when you're in line for it as well.
True. True.
We always like to throw in the coins in that one section, try to get them like on the little vases or whatever.
Yeah, where
Um,
everyone's hitting the bells.
yeah, yeah. Yeti and Flight of Passage are my favorite in there. I was always a fan of dinosaurs too. The pre-show, he's like, Hello there with the little like dinosaur puppet. So I was like, those are my favorite in Animal Kingdom.
Dr. Seeker.
Yeah,
Good
yeah, yeah.
old Dr. Seeker. Ah, man, Animal Kingdom. Hmm. One queue that's always disappointed me that I thought that should be so much better is the Safari queue.
It's
Like they
boring
should
as
have some
heck.
more animal. They should have some more animal like exhibits on the way down there. They have like
So boring.
birds up in the very front. It's so boring, and it's actually a very long queue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh man,
Yeah, if you
I
get
think my
stuck on there on a hot
favorite
day, it's
is
miserable.
it is horrible. I will say my favorite is probably Everest, just because that's like my favorite ride. It's one of my top three rides in all of Disney.
Oh,
But
for sure.
that is definitely my favorite queue. I've always enjoyed it. It's very immersive. There's so much stuff that you can like look at and read, and like if you want to get to know more of the backstory of the ride, just read the stuff on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Like they give you the whole story as you're going through. People just don't do that. Um, Avatar is really good. It's just so long. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so long they had to put a bathroom in the middle of it. That's how long
They
that queue
did.
is. Like it's cool and all. There are some cool aspects. Like in the queue, if you're walking through, you'll notice there's like handprints on the queue and at the exit. The guy James Cameron, who's made Avatar, Rhodey, the Imagineer who helped create Pandora, and then I believe it's Bob Iger have their handprints on the wall at
Mm.
the exit of the queue. Um, that that's pretty cool. I also kind of like the Kali River Rapids queue. Like it's got some cool stuff in it. And you're walking through. It's a very long queue, but they got some cool stuff, and you can kind of get the backstory of that ride too. But there's one part in particular that I like. If you're ever walking through that queue, and this is something I learned a while ago, I was gonna make a video on it, and I never did. But when you're walking through that queue, there's actually it looks like a cave drawing picture on the wall of the raft going over the fall. Well, Michael Jackson is actually drawn into the picture. And the
What?
reason for that is Michael Jackson loved Animal Kingdom, and his favorite ride was Kali River Rapids. And
Hmm.
he would go to the park, and he would ride that on repeat. And so
Hmm.
the Imagineers were like, "Hey, let's put Michael Jackson into the queue." So they drew him into the queue, and now he is forever immortalized in Disney World at Animal Kingdom. So next time you're walking through the queue, look for it.
I've never actually ridden that ride before, but
Really,
when I do, I'll make it a point to ride it when I'm at Animal Kingdom, and I'll look for that.
just rode
It,
it the other day.
it's is it like in towards the loading station? Is it like more in the beginning? It didn't.
So when you're walking through, you'll see some stuff drawn on. It's kind of like towards the loading station, but it's like in the other side still, because there's like the loading station. There's a little bridge to walk up, and then across, you're back in the buildings. It's over in that area.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've never actually
It's
ridden
pretty
it, but
cool.
now I'll make it a point to and look for that and see if I can find it. That's interesting that they put Michael Jackson in there. Okay, sure. MJ loved AK.
Most of the queues in Disney have, yeah, MJ loved AK. But if you go through most of the queues and all of the rides have some sort of like hidden Easter egg in them, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I've enjoyed trying to find some of them.
Yeah, there's a
Some
couple
of
like
them are not
universal that
so
come to
easy
mind.
to find.
Like Velocicoaster has a couple books written by like Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm and Ellie Sattler's books, and then like in Hagrid's in that egg room, there's the Triwizard Tournament golden egg in one of those shelves. It's kind of hidden. If you're not like looking for it, like you probably would walk right past it every single time. 'Cause I didn't realize it until
Absolutely.
like after I ridden the ride, probably 20 plus times. I was just looking around and you have to like look back behind you from the way that you're walking and you see it like on a shelf. Like it's purposely hidden and tucked away. That was a cool one to find. Yeah, it's fun looking for Easter eggs. It is really fun. It gives you something
Absolutely.
to do in line, and when you find one, it's like, oh, what do you know? I didn't know that was there. Yeah, yeah. This is actually our 15th episode, believe it or not.
15.
15th full length episode. It's actually kind of crazy. We've been doing this for how many months now? We started what back in late
Yeah,
February and now it's almost July. And then hopefully soon we can get these in person. We can both be in the same room. They'll be 10 times better.
absolutely.
They'll be 10 times better.
Absolutely.
This is so hard to get the timing because there's a little bit of a delay from what I say and
Yes.
when I can hear you. So there's a little bit of delay. We'll get rid of the delays. The timing will just be better. Like we'll just be able to vibe and connect better in person. So I'm really excited to do these in person. Very, very.
And guest stars.
And we'll be able to get guests. Yeah, start having guests on. It'll be much easier. Yes, we're working on getting a couple guests. So if you have any you want to hear, leave us a comment or shoot us a DM or whatever. But we're working on getting a couple on. Yeah, that'd be fun. Start
Yeah.
getting
I
guests.
think I got 3 of them already lined up. If you guys know any other people that you want to be on the pod, let us know. So far, I've got 3 pretty well known content creators that are going to be on the podcast in the near future.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that. If you have any that you guys want to hear from, let us know. Um, we're pretty much open to all of them. I
Yeah.
think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Guests. Yeah, we'll definitely help out getting the pod out there. So, um, yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
thanks for everyone for listening, and thank you for listening for 14, now 15 episodes. So be sure that you're always engaging. That helps Jeremy and I the best, and it's free. You don't have to do anything. Just press a couple buttons,
Absolutely.
watch the video for the first, at least half of the video. Send it, share it, like it, subscribe. We're on YouTube now. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok, Coasters and Bro-Sters. So yeah, send us topics. We're always looking for suggestions or positive criticism. We're always looking to improve and give you guys the best listening experience. But I really do think that once we get those in-person episodes coming out, um, yeah, it's going to be good. I think the episodes will be a lot better quality and they'll just be better overall. It's it's convenient to do it on here, what we use, the software that we use, but you can't beat that in-person connection, and it'll just be way better. So I'm really excited for those to come out. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well,
Yes,
Jeremy, any
sir.
any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks again, and we shall see you next week. Right on. 15 down.
All right.
That's awesome, dude. All righty. Well,
Crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
you have a great week, and we will chat soon.
You too. Sounds good. Talk to you later.
See ya.